Hello, everybody, and welcome to part the part 35 of the Arduboy Game Dave stream. As usual, I'm happy to be here to share with you all the pleasure and also adventure that I have by developing this game on this tiny platform. And today we will try to work on the respawn. So I know that last stream I said that we should that I should do the boulder. That I wanted to do the boulder to finish the last item that I want to put in. But then I thought, yeah, maybe that's not a high priority. Maybe we should figure out how to do the respawn, because this is still a kind of question mark on how to do it. And actually, I start thinking about it. So now that I thought about it, I want to try and implement it before I forget. So I think we'll try that today, and then we will. Then I will do the boulder after that, maybe, probably, depending if we have enough memory also. There is still some optimization to do fall of the stalactite, which, by the way. Yeah, I thought maybe I can just do the same interface as the parabolic trajectory, right? So the same logic, same interface. You start a fall, you start a fall, it gives you an ID, and then for the you call an update function giving that ID that will update your y coordinate. So yeah, that's what I've done. So let's look at the uh, header of the physics. I have the start fall, the update fall, the stop fall, and I also needed this kind of two specific function, because if you remember in the enemy we were also limiting the fall speed to avoid the enemies to enter into the ground. So obviously, if I move those variable, the full variable, to the physics manager, I needed this function. So I have a limit full speed. Still give the ID and the maximum speed that you want, right? So on the CPP side, we have the same. We have an array of full parameters that contain the frame counter and the current index in that two arrays, right? And we have our start fall, which is doing the same, searching for a free fall, return the ID if we find it, save the parameters, return the ID, the stop fall, freeing the parameters, the update. So that was the main function that I wanted to reuse in between several items that I want to fall. Yeah, another reason why I've done that is because if we implement the boulder will fall also. So we will have enemy, the boulder, the stalactite falling, and Rick. For Rick, for the main character, I didn't change the code to use that function. I could have done it, but maybe I say, okay, leave Rick like that. I don't want to introduce more bugs into it, but maybe we could do it at some point. But I have refactored the enemy to use it. All right. So we have the current fall speed, just return the current vertical move. And we have the limit fall that is just doing the same thing, if you remember, for the enemy as before, which is doing the while loop and move back the index, continue to move it until we change the value. So this time I just change it till I reach the max speed. Yep, that's yeah, that's it. Also, okay, I fixed a typo here. I was missing a E, and also I changed this. I removed that because it's a potential bug eventually, but um, because I'm not sure. I was storing the ID not on a full um, char, but only on 4 bits. So if I return that value, then later on, if I call those function and I check, maybe I won't get the same value. The value will not be the same. So obviously there is bug here. So now I just remove it and I use the last the maximum parabolic parameter, which is the same, but it is limited to to the capacity of the ID. So yeah, just it makes also the code a little bit more clear to read, by the way. All right, so that's the physics, and obviously for our enemy, what do we change here? Nothing, just a space missing. And in the enemy, so here, if you remember, that was the loop to prevent the enemy to go in the ground. So we do the same by using the two function, like the current speed. We just go there, testing the collision, and then after that, call the limit speed. Um, Now we need to call the stop, obviously, stop fall. Then we have init fall, we start a fall, we memorize this, and the update fall. Now most of the code of that function is inside the physics update fall. I just returned the move count here because if you remember, I was also moving like to 1 pixel for the few first frame of the fall. So this is just specific to the enemy. So I figure out I can just return the current and move step to do that. Right. Okay. Then once I've done that for the enemy, I could do it for the stalactite, obviously. So for the stalactite, I have the same update fall, and also here where it is, yeah, here it's like instead of just moving y 1 pixel every frame, I just called update fall, and obviously I have a start fall and a stop fall. So stop fall here and start fall here. All right, in this code you can also notice that I have removed actually the anim state variable, and I just used the property, the special property, because the stalactite doesn't use the special property. So okay, why not just to remove one variable from the class. But anyway, that's a little change. So here, yeah, I just removed the state. It's a bit less readable, I do agree. And then we have our still Spark anim frame ID. And so I removed the anim state, but I added the anim, so the physics ID, I would say. And in the map manager, okay, nothing, just change the item. Yeah, in the next commit, I've renamed this variable, which was not clear. I just name it physics ID in the enemy, and basically we use it for two things. We use it for the fall, and we use it also for the parabolic trajectory. But we use the same variable because that never happened at the same time. Either you fall, either you are dead, and use the parabolic trajectory. Right, so just renaming that variable. And then one other thing, I removed the packing from the enemy just to see if it was more optimum. Actually, if you remove the packing, you remove also some flag, some bit field operation like shifting, masking bit that the compiler do it for you automatically. Um, and I just remove it just to see if it was better. And yeah, actually it is better, but there's only 2 or 3 enemy in the instance of enemy in the program. It may I mean the impact of the bit field operation may be balanced by the number of enemies. So if you have a very big number of enemy, then it's better to pack your variable. If you have not that many, then it's less it use less code to not pack them. So it's just a balance in between. um, I don't know how many enemies I will have in the final game. I think something like at least 20. I mean, for spread out of all the screen, puzzle screen, I don't know how many puzzle screen I will have. I hope something at least 20. um, so you can count like 1 or 2 enemy per screen. Some screen won't have enemies, so yeah, maybe like 20. But actually, okay, I think I remove them for now. It's also the code is a bit smaller. That's the only place where I pack the variable for the items. The other item doesn't have a packed value, so they all use normal char. Um, so yeah. Anyway, and I also at the same time I also remove the skeleton flag here, and then I use another flag because we still have some space in the bit field in the flag property flag. So why not? I think okay, I unpack this variable, so maybe I can just remove the skeleton. All right. Yeah, that's it. Nothing special. Just a skeleton becomes a function now. All right, and the item has this special too. All right, and map data. Yeah, nothing special. Um, all right, so that's what I did outside of the stream. So now let's talk about the respawn. So we have several things to consider. Um, so we have a kind of initialization, if you wish, like when you start the game. But also, the player may be able to go back to the main menu and start the game again, right? I guess I will have a main menu. I want to have a main menu with like the Lemmings games, like with the option to maybe cut the music if we have some music or sound, and maybe an option to choose which level you want to start with if we don't want to be super hardcore, or at least if we memorize the progress, because I think I will memorize the progress, which level you are. Then maybe something to reset your save if you want to start the game again from the beginning. So yeah, we will have a main menu, very similar to the Lemmings game, Ardulem game. But so yeah, you can go back to the main menu and then start again. So that's the first user case. We need to reinitialize all the item at their default position, at their initial position, and all alive and all yeah, like this is the init, right? This init state also happen if the player die. So if you die, you killed by enemy or whatever. So we have to reset the puzzle screen. Like for example, you have two enemies in one screen. You kill the first enemies, and then the second enemy kill you. You lose. So then you lose one life. Then we have to restart that screen by also respawning the first enemy that you killed, right? Because that means you didn't pass the puzzle. And maybe you kill an enemy that you should not kill, because maybe this enemy is useful to trigger something, right? To trigger a stalactite that fall, and then you can pass something like that. So you have to, if you die, you have to reset the puzzle in the initial state, right? So this init is important for if you start the game from the menu or if you die. All right. But also, we have to consider the item when you move from one screen to the other and when you come back. So, for example, you kill all the enemies in the first puzzle screen, then you move to the next screen, and then when you go back, you don't want to see all the enemies that you have killed. Those enemies are still killed, right? And if other stuff has moved, like a boulder has moved, like if you have picked up some stuff, you have picked up the stat rate, this you don't want to reset, right? So this item will stay dead and will stay in the die state. Even if you didn't kill an enemy, for example, you have a moving enemies, you go to one screen, you come back to the other screen, you want the enemy to be at the same position and continue to move, right? So, but, okay, so you don't reset this enemy, but what we also want is when I also want to only have the item of the current screen in the map manager. So we only update the item of the current puzzle. I don't want to update all the items of all the game. First, it will be slow for nothing. It will waste some computer time. And then secondly, most of the items don't work well when they are outside of the screen, because maybe they don't have collision, so maybe they fall and all that stuff, right? So we only want to have in the item array of the map manager, we only want to have the item of the current screen, right? So that means when we move to the next screen, we remove all these items, right? We remove them. But when we come back to the first screen, we have to add them again, right? So we have to add them again, but not reset them, not re-init them, right? So all this are kind of linked together. This is kind of the same mechanic, but not exactly the same, right? So speaking more about this update, what I would like to do is when the camera starts to transition, so when we start to move to the next screen, at the very beginning of the start of the transition, then I want to add all the item of the next screen, right? And then what I want to do also is I would like the item to be removed when they are outside of the screen, right? So that means during the camera transition, maybe the enemy is still visible, but then as soon as the enemies go outside of the screen, then it's removed from the item manager, right? So we add all of them at the beginning, and then we remove them as long as they get outside of the screen. We can try that. However, during transition, there is some, it will be not that easy, because when you add all the item of this next screen, they are at the beginning of transition, they are not visible. They are all invisible. So you don't want them to disappear. So probably what we will do is at the beginning we add all these items outside of the screen. Then we move, and probably when the camera has finished to move, then we can check and remove all the item outside of the screen, right? We can try to do something like that. So that means we will still keep both item of the two screen during the transition, right? Can try to do that. And I start to be a little hot. All right, so I know I have a lot to say, but more. I need to tell you more stuff. One more thing we need to consider is to how do we split the item per screen, right? So how do we say this enemy is in screen 1, this enemy is in screen 2, right? There's several ways to do it, so I try to think about different way. But I would like to find a way that is try to be optimum, like try to have a way that doesn't use too many program. But I'm not sure what is the most optimum one actually. So we could have a screen ID in the item, for example, and when we initialize all the item, we said, okay, you are in screen 1, you're screen 2, screen 4, etc. But that means if we have that, that means we still need to iterate through all the item to find the correct the item of the current screen, right? Another way is to split the item array that we have per screen. That was probably my idea. So you have an array for screen 1 and an array for screen 2, so you can then iterate. I thought about having a two-dimensional array, like first dimension is the screen index, second dimension is all the item. But a two-dimensional array is like you need to have the same number of item in each screen, which is wasting memory because it's not the case. It will not be the case. So I thought about that kind of stuff, and also there's still the problem of the starting position, because I don't want to memorize the starting position in every item. That means because also the x and y are int. And if we memorize start x, start y is 2 more int. Like, okay, we add 4 bytes per item, which start to be heavy in my opinion. And if you think about it, the starting position is already in the program, already in the code somewhere. It's hard coded, but it's in the code. So if you look at the map data, these here, they are the starting position of the item. And these values are stored in the program, right? They are just hard-coded values. So we have those values in program, we pass them to constructor, they store it into a variable just to be able to access it again. So was not convinced about that. Finally, I thought about an idea about instead of having one array per screen, I thought about having one function per screen. And then we could have an array of pointer on function for every screen. Yeah, so but obviously that means we will have to move the the position here from the constructor to another function. That will be the respawn function or reinit function or init function, I don't know. And let's call it init function. Right. So yeah, that's my current idea, and that's what I want to try with you tonight. I'm not sure if it will work well and how much memory we will use for that. But so far, that's my idea. All right, so let's try that. Let's start with that. I will create an init function, but if you remember in the item we have already a static init for what? For the block, destroyable block. So let's first rename this function first. I will call it static init, and I will call it into okay. So destroyable block, sorry, static init. All right, and then I will call that here. Okay. Or could have called it global init, but whatever. All right, so now we can try to have init function into the base class of the item. It doesn't need to be virtual. I don't want to increase the virtual table. But I will have this start X and Y. I could also use the flag because anyway, yeah, because anyway we'll call it. So but maybe not. I prefer to keep the flag in the constructor because you know each constructor they change their flag, and I think the flag doesn't change so much. All right, I will not remove that for now in the constructor. I may do it a little later, but let's implement it in several steps. All right, we have an init, and the init could also call the respawn step update step actually. So that means we don't even need to iterate on it and call it from the map manager. That may save a little bit of code, not sure, but anyway. So yeah, obviously we reinitialize our position. Right, and if I need to call the update, I will call it here, which is virtual, but that's fine with the special state respawn. We'll do that later, maybe. Okay, so I have an init. Then what I would like to do here in the map manager, so in the map data, sorry. So yes, it will be generated by the level editor. I want to create that function, and which means I also can remove that item array. I don't need it anymore. It will change to a function pointer array. Okay, so let's say, so this function cannot be forward declare into, or can they? No, I don't want to modify the map data h, right? Maybe I will need to, but because of this, but anyway, I don't need. They are all private functions, right? So I can just declare a function that I will call. It's all generated, so it doesn't matter. Nobody will call it. But for readability of the code, let's call it init screen 1. Okay, and I need a parameter that will tell us if it's full respawn or if it's just I'm coming back to the previous screen as I explained. So yeah, init is not great. Should init, let's call it init, right? So if we have init, then we should call the init function of the item in that screen. And maybe I should add them, so I can add them anyway, or before or after. I'm not sure. It's probably better to add them before. So map manager add item. So yep, that means that function will disappear also soon. All right, so for example, in our first screen we have the 3 enemy. So again, when everything is generated, so this name will have generated name like item 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, doesn't matter, right? Okay, the scorpion, and we need the block also, and the stalactite and mite into the first screen. All right, and if we init, then we just okay, it's not pointer, so we just call the init function. And this is where I will move this variable here. So okay, right now I just keep it in the constructor, but the goal is to remove this from the constructor, so it's only written one time in memory in the program, I think. Okay, so 8515. Same for the scorpion. 8515, the block. The stalactite and the stalagmite. Oh, I have a fly flying on my face. And the stalagmite. Okay. All right, so that's our init screen 1. Okay, so now like I said, I want to change this array of item into a function pointer. So maybe I can just do a type def on it. And because I'm lazy about the syntax, I will get back the type def we wrote before. We'll put that in the map data header file. So we will call it item init function. Okay, and this will be start x and start y. And a void. No, absolutely not. It's just a bool. Sorry, confused with that. Init. All right, and then we want to have a pointer on init function. Write all the function to init the item in the level split per screen, per puzzle screen. All right, so I think item count, we don't need it anymore, but we need item function count, probably. Item init function count, which is the total number of puzzle screen. So let's just write like this: puzzle screen count. All right. So where is the map data? All right. So this function, this array here, and that should be this function. Yeah, I think I will. Sorry about that. And I'm kind of thirsty now. I'm not sure when I will compile, so I have to make a little break to drink, otherwise. All right, so yeah, that's my function. Does it compile? Let's compile. I need to drink. It does not. Yeah, of course, the item array, we didn't delete it yet. And by the way, I don't need the item anymore. Just comment it for now. Okay, so the init function, I don't need that. And what I will do is I will call a function. Okay, so I need that function, which I don't have. No, I just have the array. I just need to call map manager. Okay, map manager. So it's this array. Init. Okay, I want so the current screen. So we will have a variable indicating which screen we are. Okay, so right now let's just hardcode it. And so if I remember the syntax, we should have this and call this, and here a flag, which is okay. We can should init should respond that we can pass here. So we will need it soon. So where is my init function? I think it's public because I think it's called yep, in the setup. Yeah, so of course you give true here. All right, so can delete this temp code. Well, let's move it to the map data just in case I need those later. Bullet crate is already here. Arrow launcher. Nope. Statuette is already here. Arrow launcher. Okay. All right. So remove that. That cleans a little bit the code, of course. Okay, so we have init, and we will have a variable to indicate which screen we are. Yeah, does it compile? So yeah, I have another init which I forgot to do. Okay, so expected primary expression before, yeah, bool. No, it's not bool here, of course. I think my debug code to respawn is here. True. Okay. Add item is not member of manager, so I need to add map manager in map data. Okay. Map manager. Conflicting declaration. Init. Oh, yes, it's not. Item pointer. What is item pointer? Actually, it's like this. Scenario of item init function, and here it's not this. It's this. Size of a pointer, which is normally 2 divided by 2, I think. So I think it's like this. Actually, it should be like divided by size of this. No, not this. The function. Yeah. This is one S. Okay, size of the array divided by size of the pointer. We compile. Okay. Do I dare to test it? Let's try it. All right. We have some people killed, so let's try to respawn. And nothing happened. Because, yeah, maybe it. Let's see if the scorpion is. Nope. Let's kill that. Okay. This time it works. Okay, yeah. I didn't press well. All right. That's a very good news. I didn't check the memory size before. I should, to see how if that increase or decrease the program. That's fine. We can do that later. So we can commit that, and we can after that check the size. So I will memorize this size. Let's commit. Okay, so that's our static init to free up the name of the init function, which I like. I wanted to use it. That's our init function. Okay. Okay. So a map manager, a map data. We have our init screen 1 and our array of pointer on function to replace our array of item. And yeah, we don't need the item. Let's delete it. All right. In the map manager, we have removed that to just call one function. We had a flag to our init function in the map manager. Okay. And yeah, I moved the sprite data to the map manager folder. Like that. Okay, let's commit that. So first step of implementation for the respawn of the items. All right. I will just update to this version and see and compile to see the memory. Okay, so and I will put that in top. Okay, so it's only 556. It's a little bit bigger. Not surprising so far, but I hope we can decrease it. We'll see, because we will continue to refactor. All right, I will just update again. Okay. Yes, I need to update all. All right. So now we can try to remove the X and Y here. And see if we at least go back to probably the same kind of size. So I keep the property flag for now. I think maybe that's okay. They won't change. But I remove this from the constructor. So we have to go through all the items to remove them. That's a bit repetitive, sorry. I have nothing to tell you so far. No story to tell you. Should I sing? Ah! Maybe it's sunny where you are. You don't want the rain to come. Okay, let's remove the star. So just remove that. Yeah, we may have something to do with the dynamite. We'll see later. Probably not. So we can just property flag none is the same. Okay, just delete this constructor. We'll see. Arrow bullet. Okay, no. Okay, yeah, that's the same. Launcher. Enemy. We have so many items. I hope we can make a great game. Level design is hard. Believe me. But I think it's quite fun. Obviously, if you, with the editor that we will create, if you really want to make some puzzle, some level, I would be very happy. So if you watch that stream, maybe you will be, maybe that's probably because you are interested in the game. Maybe not. Maybe you just want to see how to program the Arduboy. But if that raises your interest for the game, then maybe you will play with the editor to do some level. Would be nice. And if you can make good level, yeah, I will be happy to integrate them in the final game, the final release. Almost there. All right, so now in the map data, so I don't want to lose the, okay, so they just clean the one I've done already, this one, this one. Oh, now the statuette, I don't know where it is. Okay. Our launcher also. Okay. Enemy. I don't want to lose the position now. So. Alright. So we can do screen 2 for the spike. And screen 3 for the pickup item. SP1. You know what, I will move them next to the function so it's easy. It's easy to copy. SP3, SP2. All right, and then I will move to this to the third screen. ST, DC, PC, ST, DC, BC. I hope it's not increasing the memory too much. I hope. We'll see. Right, I should remove that also. And let's put the statuette is, oh, we already have one, that's fine. And the our launcher is in the first screen. Used to be in the first screen. Alright, let's try to compile. Oh, maybe there's, let me, okay. Maybe I didn't save all the files. Okay, so some error. screen 3, can start with from item. Statuette. Do we have the statuette? Yes. Sorry. Screen cannot convert statuette. Oh, yeah, I know. Screen 3. What did I do? It's I didn't include it. No. The pickup item have some issues. Let me check again. Which is of a non-class type statuette. Non-class type. I'm confused about the error the message. Error message. What happened? To item it was for argument. Screen 2. Does it need a flag? No, it doesn't need a flag. The statuette has oh. What about that? Okay, so well, that's stupid. This syntax should work actually. I don't know why the compiler doesn't like it. Spawn block fragment spawn. Yep, it's in the I think it's the destroyable block. Okay, new block fragment. That's okay. So block fragment right here. Here spawn. Did I remove the X and Y from spawn? Yep. Oops. Sorry. My bad. Here, give it back to you. Okay. 25, 340. Let's compare. Sorry. Where is my file? Open so many files. Before it was 25,556. We started with that, and now it's 25,340, which is good. But let me increase it. We forgot to add the pointer of those functions, so the code is maybe strip. Let's do this. Oh, that would be more correct. All right, 25,544. 25. So just delete this because that's not correct. Before it was 25,556. Hey, little less than before. Okay, I like it. And we have our restart working, including the position. So I'm very happy with that solution so far. Let's commit that and even more stuff. Okay, so here I guess, wow, all the items. Yep, I would just, okay, you can just look here about the change. Here. Map data. We split in 3 screen. Okay. All right. So remove the start x and y from the constructor of the item, because now they are in the init functions. All right. Okay, so next I was saying we should call the the respawn, maybe. Thinking about the respawn call. Should we call that into the init function? Actually, maybe not, because we'll see later. We can see later, because this function, the init screen, will be called when we shift from one screen to the other, and also when we init the game or restart or respawn, whatever. But when we shift from one screen to the other, then we should not call the respawn, because the respawn update step will set the flag, a live flag and all that stuff to true, so we reset internally the variable. That's why it has to be virtual, because every item knows what to reset. So yeah, probably we should not call it directly from the init, or if we call it, that means we should give the parameters, the init. I know I'm stupid. Yeah, if we call it here, yeah, actually, if we call the init, that's a respawn. Otherwise, if we give false, that's just adding the item here. So for the scrolling. So yeah, we can call it. Yeah. So let's try that. I will just call that from here. Call the update virtual function with the response step for specific data init. And in Map Manager, I can just delete this. All right, so let's try that. Not sure if it saves some memory. 25448 as it should. Yeah, I think it does. Nope, it add 4 bytes actually. 25 5. Oh no, sorry, 100 byte. 25 448. Oh, that's a lot of data. That's a lot of program. Yeah. Okay. Does it work? Let's try it. Oh, sorry, I didn't show you the right screen. So it's like 25 448 compared to before it was 25 544. All right, let's try to respawn. Yeah, it still works. All right. Yeah, I think we can commit that. Sorry, so let's delete this and let's commit this. So just add, okay, so here, just add a space here, okay, and just delete this. Call the respawn update step directly from the item init. All right. What time is it? 1 hour 15 minutes. Okay. So next, what I would like to do is to try the dynamic update from one screen to the other. Because now if I go to the other screen, I forgot I have the arrow launcher. I should not have the other item. Or how to? Oh, the arrow launcher is too low. I want to let me just no. Okay. Yeah, so nothing here. The spike are not here, and the crate, the bonus, the pickup are not there also. Okay. So let's try to add them from one screen to the other. I will do it with hard-coded value for now, and we will do a proper puzzle screen management ID, puzzle screen ID management later, maybe in the next screen, in the next stream, because actually I don't really know how to do it. However, the one thing I wanted to say is that on the level design, I want to do like the original game. That means you have one entry and one exit. Just sorry, wait a minute for my phone is ringing. Ouais, 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 presque. Ok, petit quart d'heure. Ok. Léo, Léo, Léo. Okay, sorry. So I was saying, uh, I want to do like the original game. You have one entry and one exit. Only one entry, only one exit for every puzzle screen. There's no multiple exits. So you basically go enter somewhere, have to exit through the exit, and there's only one exit and one possibility to solve the puzzle. So you go to one screen to the next screen, etc. There's no multiple paths like, oh, if you go exit this, you go to that screen, and that you go to the other screen. No, don't want to do it like that. Just for the gameplay point of view, which means I have a linear puzzle screen. I mean, all the puzzle screen can be seen as linear. Like you have the screen 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Even if you do a path like this, up, down, left, right, whatever, you can do this. But it's still one big corridor. Like we said, corridor gameplay, right? Which means I can have just one variable that tell me the current screen. So you start from 0, you go back to 1. But what I don't know is how I will manage this screen ID, puzzle screen ID, based on the position, because I can transition from every direction. I can transition to the bottom, to the right, go back to left, go back to up, whatever. So there is some kind of management. We can probably do it in code. If we cannot, we can add some data, and the level editor can help a little bit on that. So we'll see. But I leave that for the next stream. So right now, I just want to test the dynamic add and remove of the item, but with some hard-coded value. So I guess we have to go into the screen, into the camera transition, and check. So where do I know if I change? To check if we should start a camera transition. Blah, blah, blah. So it should be inside, yeah, inside of this test. Yeah, I can just do it here. This not the diff x y. So I can probably check on the puzzle screen X and Y. Yeah, I just say we should have some kind of hard-coded stuff. So let's move that to variable. Oops. here. Okay, and even if I'm not alive, I think. Let's move that outside of the alive test. Yeah, so like I said, I don't know what I've done. Okay. Like I said, we will have to do a proper management of this. So, but we can think about it next stream for sure. All right, but then I will just can do it here or later, it doesn't matter. So like I said, let's check some hard-coded value. We'll just move to the right. Let's see if we have the how to say the pickup item. All right, I test one, but of course I should check that the previous one was different. So just we'll just declare hard-coded value here. I just want to test if it works, and then we hand the stream, don't worry. Okay, so if this, oh, sorry, I didn't show you the code. So I just moved the puzzle screen code outside of the outside of this test is recall live. We are in the animate camera transition here. So I computed every frame, and I just declared temporary variable, global variable here to check. So if this, and obviously we have a different value, maybe I should test that first. If previous is different from current, right? If it's 1, so that's the hard-coded value, then I do init false, because I don't want to reset everything, I just want to add stuff. Okay, else, but I need to tell which screen I want to init. So and then I will memorize the value. Right. So is it init that we need, or respawn? So obviously init now it's not a great name, I would say, because I need to, obviously I need to reset this, and okay, so but yeah, we will refactor everything later. So let's add another parameters. Okay, just screen ID. I add a new parameters. We may give the parameters, or we may have the parameters in the map manager. We'll see that later in the next stream. Okay, for now we'll just add it. And so in respawn, yeah, respawn, I need to have the current one. Okay, so I think we will need it. So let's just declare it right now in the map manager. No, it's a private variable. Let's declare it here. Current puzzle screen ID of the puzzle screen currently played by the player. Okay, so we have this, and where's my init function? Okay, just use it here. All right, and so I don't need to change my respawn. And over there in the animation, I just need to change this. So just let's set it like this. All right, we set it, and then we just call the init. All right, so that will add the item. The other items are not removed yet, and I don't want to remove them. Like I explained at the beginning of the stream, maybe I just want to remove them when they are out of the screen, and only when the camera has finished to move. Right. So right now the code, but let's try that. Does it compile? So right now I may add several times the item because I don't have the logic to remove them, but we'll see. We'll see if at least we have, oh, let me remove the arrow launcher. Sorry. I don't want this. I can just remove the add. Can keep the init, that's fine. All right, so let's see. If we have our item in the next screen. Nope. And the game is freezed. I'm freeze. I've done something bad. I cannot move anymore. Oh, wait. Yeah, I'm really freezed. Okay. Oops. Okay, so if previous is 0, screen puzzle. Okay, I said the current screen should be 1. Let's just put 1 for testing. I'm not sure I can even relaunch the game. I may have to. Yeah, I probably did something wrong. There's the memory. All right. Let me reset this. Let's see. Okay. Oh, I'm not blocked anymore, but my items are not there. So just call one init one. Yes, they have never been initialized. So we need to initialize at least one time. And when we go back to that screen, we should not reinitialize them. So that's why I'm saying the logic of adding and removing item from screen to screen is a bit complicated. There is some code to add. There is some logic to add, definitely. Okay, so for testing again, let's just put true here. And let's try again. Oops, sorry. Destroy my cache. Okay, let's go to big screen. And they are still not initialized. They should here should respond and give true, and the map data, we have our screen 1 2 3 2. Oh, I initialized the spike. Let's see if we have the spike. Let's see if we have this spike. Yeah, when I will go back to 0, I will add them again, I guess. Yeah, we have the spike. Good. So let's change that just for testing last time. In the camera transition, so let's initialize the screen 2. Let's try again. Yeah, but why they appear late? I'm confused. They should appear immediately, actually. That is strange. No, I know. The puzzle screen changed. The puzzle screen ID changed when the camera actually has finished the transition. Yeah, that's true. Because of the way we compute it. Right, so that's work. So, but this is something we have to consider. We will consider. So cool. I think we will stop the stream here. Let me summarize, conclude. So I think I will not commit that. This is a bunch of testing code, right? And we can check what we have, but I think it's quite messy so far. Yeah, the map data. Just commented the arrow launcher, and here we have our new variable here that we use here, and here we start to implement something. So yeah, we have to, next stream we will have to handle this screen management and how to know the screen puzzle idea from when we transition from one screen to the other. We have to get the beginning of the transition and get the end of the transition. So that the beginning we can call the add, and at the end of the transition we can just check all items which are outside of the screen and remove them. And we also need to have the logic to know which ID based on which coordinate, something like that. And also we have to deal with the fact that this is the first time the screen is initialized, or we go back to where we were. All right, so thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed that part, and we'll see you in the next stream. Bye bye.